Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Brown and a warm welcome to the How to Cameron channel, and today I'm making a second video on the KSI versus Logan Paul rematch. Now I made a video a couple of weeks ago and yes, I admit it was clickbait. I wanted some views and the video got a very bad reception generally. A lot of people did enjoy this video, may I just mention. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed this video and a lot of people hated it. And that's all right. I remember when I made that video, I knew for a fact that a lot of my subscribers would not care about the subject matter. So I thought to myself, why not clickbait the video and get a lot of attention towards the video. It got 3,000 views, which is pretty good. And hopefully, just by chance, some people will actually enjoy the video. And that's exactly what happened. I had quite a few people who really enjoyed that video, and that's what I wanted. I didn't care about everyone enjoying it who got clickbaited, you could say. But to be fair, the clickbait was very stupid. So if you genuinely thought that the title was not clickbait when you initially saw the video, chances are your IQ is not particularly high, and thus I don't really care about whether or not you enjoyed the video. Today I'm going to be reading some comments that video provoked and just talking about the rematch again, because a lot of things have actually changed. There's been a lot of updates, etc, etc. Before this video starts, smash like on this video if you do enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new today. That helps me out a lot. I wanted to firstly start off by showcasing some comments that I actually noticed recently. I remember I was just looking through my comments, replying to people who left comments because, guys, I'm such a good YouTuber. And someone, I believe, left a comment asking in a sarcastic manner, what even is that jacket? So the jacket they were referring to is this one, the one I'm wearing. Now, when I initially saw this comment, I thought they were joking, because the joke is this jacket is not actually like branded. It's just an off-brand running jacket that I bought a couple years ago. And I thought to myself, they're just joking around with it. But there was actual people in the comments like criticizing me for it. There were people who were trying to insinuate that I was broke, and someone told me to take it off. Why? What? Okay, then I'll take it off then if you insist. Look how thin I am. Everyone thinks I'm thin. I haven't even shown off my body for so long. Guys, look how thin I am. I have absolutely no muscle. Whoa, this is terrible. Oh, this is so bad. But seriously, there were people like criticizing me for like not having money, right? It's just a jacket. What is actually wrong with just being good with money? Like, if I like something that's good quality, in my opinion, I don't care if it's branded or not. If you care a lot about it, you're clearly self-conscious. You clearly matter about what people think. And I've had this guy repeatedly call me a stick. He called me thin, but said I was tall. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, one, I'm 6'1.5", and two, I'm not even that thin. Like, what the hell? Like, people used to call me really thin last year because I used to be really thin. Now I'm strong, man. I do my weight training. I do my boxing training. Give me credit where I deserve it, you prick. But the person who's commenting that, I looked at his channel because he's been harassing me for months and months. He's a sad loser who's obsessed with me. He clearly just wants my 6.5-inch dick. Sad face emoji. Like, I just don't get why he cares so much. I looked at his channel, I remember, and he used to have loads of videos up. And he was included in the videos. And believe it or not, he looks like a thin kid as well. So I don't know why he's really criticizing me for that. He looks my age, to be fair, but he's just thin and clearly a bit shorter. But like, I don't even get why this person like is so sad. So today I'm just going to be reading some comments that were left on my video that I made on the KSI versus Logan Paul rematch. I like my boxing, okay? I'm not just a KSI or Logan Paul fanboy, but something that I noticed is because I was against Logan Paul, because I said that he wasn't as strong as KSI, and I also said that I don't think he was going to win, because even though everyone says that he just randomly got tired and how apparently he had an adrenaline dump, even though he's using that as an excuse for just getting tired in the second round of the first match, I believe that the same thing will just happen again. A lot of people were saying that Logan Paul is a way better athlete, but I don't think he is. I think he just overexerted himself in the first 2 rounds, and that's why he won the first 2 rounds, but then because of that, in conclusion, lost the fight. Well, not really lost the fight, but did bad in the later rounds. This person linked a timestamp in my video and said, are you serious? Logan Paul is way bigger than KSI. You're the first person I've seen who thinks KSI is stronger than Logan. KSI is bigger. He clearly weighs more. Yes, Logan Paul is much taller, but KSI is way bigger. Like, you can just tell by his chest. You can tell by his arm size and things. And I probably sound extremely gay, to be fair, and a massive fanboy, but it's just true. I do not see Logan Paul being stronger because he's just longer. Like, this is the thing when it comes to strength. The longer you are, normally, the bigger like you have to be. In physics, obviously you have moments when you lift a weight. If you have a longer arm, you need to generate much more force to lift a weight. If I'm lifting a weight and I'm lifting it from my shoulder, if my arm's much longer because I'm taller, for example, if I'm lifting it, it needs a lot more force, which means I need to be bigger. So if Logan Paul is taller but smaller than KSI, he probably will be weaker. I also can tell that Logan Paul is weaker because I remember this was very interesting. I don't think many people noticed this. KSI and Logan Paul, they originally did like a head-to-head face-off, but they actually had contact with each other. Logan Paul initiated the contact. He was right into KSI and he was trying to overwhelm him with his weight and his strength. But what actually happened is KSI got into an awkward position, but then like lifted Logan up. It was so petty. But KSI looked way stronger than Logan, and then Logan pushed him. And the reason why Logan pushed him is because KSI would have probably knocked him over or something with his big flipping head. Why is KSI's head so damn big? I'm just mentioning that. Like, what the flip? Are you dumb? KSI didn't know how Logan fought, so he had to study him in the first 2 rounds, idiot. So this is an interesting point. Obviously, I actually want KSI to win, but I don't believe him. I don't believe you can use that as an excuse because I don't believe Logan knew how KSI fought either. The reason being is because KSI fought so differently to how he fought Joella. Because when he fought Joella, he had range because Joella is much smaller than KSI. But then Logan Paul was much bigger than KSI. And because of that, Logan Paul was able to keep him out of his range. Honestly, Logan should have won the fight. I genuinely believe that it's a mismatch because Logan has such a longer reach. Like, Logan is just much bigger. And in terms of the reach, like, it's so obvious that it's a bit of a mismatch. You know absolutely nothing about boxing. Shaking my head, I'm a KSI fan, and I know he getting banged in the rematch. And saying Logan isn't a good boxer, then you defo don't know anything. He only trained for 3 months. Now, this is what I wanted to mention in this video. Logan is the biggest bullshitter ever, completely. Before the first fight, he said he trained for a year. And now he's only trained for 3 months before the first match. Shut up. Before the first fight, Logan Paul says he's going to destroy KSI and says that he's been training for way more than KSI believes. KSI had the Joella fight in February, straight off the bat. The KSI versus Logan Paul match was 6 months after. So clearly, Logan Paul must have trained 6 months absolutely minimum. On top of that, Logan Paul said himself that he's been training for well over a year before the fight, before the first fight. But then he drew in the first fight, and then apparently, oh, he's only trained for 3 months. Like, shut up. I honestly believe that Logan Paul and KSI have both probably had very similar amount of training in terms of comparison. In total amount of hours of training, I believe they both had a very equal amount of training. So I don't believe that's an excuse. On top of that, Logan Paul has always been a massive athlete. He's always been in shape. KSI never was always an athlete. In the grand scheme of things, if you're in shape, if you have good stamina, that's going to really help you be a boxer. So I don't think you can use the argument of Logan Paul was underprepared. Definitely not. 100% you can't. Logan banged him in the first, second rounds. I'd even give him the third round. I don't think KSI was going to be knocked out in the first 2 rounds at all. Logan Paul's punches don't look that hard. They just don't. I don't see him getting knocked out by them in the rematch, even without headgear. 4th and 6th, defo KSI, 5th was even. If they were both fresh for all 6 rounds, Logan would have won every round, no doubt. But I genuinely believe the reason why Logan Paul won the first 2 rounds was just because he overexerted himself. I don't think he was good enough for the fight, honestly. I think he forced himself to do too well in the first 2 rounds, which means he did win the first 2 rounds, but then he just ran out of energy. And in the rematch, I think what will happen is Logan Paul will start off slow and lose the first few rounds. I genuinely see that happening. I think he'll do better in the middle rounds, but then in the end, no. And on top of that, why is it a 6-round rematch? Why is it not 12? I don't get why KSI didn't argue for that, because I genuinely believe KSI could have gone for another 6. Looking at him in that 6th round, he could have won that first fight easy if it was 12 rounds. You cannot argue Logan is a good boxer by the first fight. Even if he won rounds 1 through 5, I don't think you could argue that he's a better boxer than KSI, just because most boxing matches last 10, 12 rounds. And if KSI had loads of energy in the 6th round and Logan had none, actually 0 energy, he was literally about to flip him pass out, and without headgear he would have been knocked out 100%. How can you argue that Logan's the better boxer if he can't last 6 goddamn rounds in a ring? KSI wasn't bulking. If you believe that, then you're a thick effer. He was enjoying his time of eating and doing his music and getting man titties. And getting man titties is not how you bulk. This is the thing. Ignore what he looks like, because that has nothing to do with athleticism. I don't think you can compare boxers' physique, because boxing is such a varied sport, and that's why I love it so much. It's the same with football. It's the same with every single sport. People's athletes vary a lot. And I feel like with KSI, he just has such a different stature to Logan. I don't see why KSI would come out the first fight against Logan, feel like he won the fight but wasn't as good as he thought he was, which he said in podcasts, then just decided to have half a year off and then fight again. I don't see why he would have done that, knowing how much KSI cares about boxing and wanted to go pro. What I believe's happened is he's just continued to box. He's gained weight because he's not focused on his calories, but he's retained his fitness. The thing is with the human body is it's very adaptable, especially when it comes to fat percentage. Generally speaking, how much fat is on your body is quite independent to how good of a boxer you are. Unless you're like really heavy. Because of that, like, I don't think he gave up training. I just felt like he didn't care too much about his diet, which is fine. You don't have to do boxing training. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to mention is the undercard. The undercard discussion for the rematch has been very interesting, because you have a lot of YouTube fans who are like, oh, we need more YouTubers on the undercard. And then there's loads of boxing fans who are like, oh, we need more boxing matches on the undercard. And why is KSI and Logan Paul, why are they the main event? That's pretty much what is happening now. And for me, in my opinion, I believe there should be one YouTube undercard event and then a main event. That's how I see it, because I believe a lot of YouTubers just aren't ready to go pro. This is the thing you've got to realize. This is a pro fight. This is not an amateur fight. It's not even a YouTube fight. I don't believe that a lot of YouTubers could go on the undercard. Last year, in the first fight, the undercards were alright. You know, there were some undercard fights that were really good. The Gibb one is amazing. And that's the match I want. I want Gibb to fight Jake Paul, 100%. But all the other fighters were just meh. They weren't good at fighting. And that's fine for an amateur fight. Go fight on the Fuzi2 card. But when it comes to like a DAZN pay-per-view fight, like, I don't think they should fight on it. I think there should only be one undercard fight. That's a YouTube fight. And then there should be, obviously, the main event. The reason why is because if you have loads of boxing fans watching this fight, they're going to be much happier and more open to becoming a fan of these YouTube boxers if they're not forced to only watch them. It's like if you have a channel, if you own, say, Disney Channel, if you've got a new show, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it on a bit. You don't want it just to be that show, because it would just annoy them. That's pretty much my point. What I mean by that is I don't think you should drown the boxing fans with YouTube undercards when obviously there's going to be a major shift in skill ability. Like a major shift. I only believe that Gibb and Jake Paul are I think that's the only undercard that works, to be honest, under the pretense of this being a DAZN production rather than a YouTube production. Anyway guys, again, this video here, thank you for watching. Smash like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new today. Yes, I know my channel's dead and I do not give a fuck. I've had a few people come up to me, a few people message me, friends, whatever, saying, oh, your channel's so dead, are you upset about it? I genuinely don't care. I'd love for my channel to do well, but I just love making videos too much to care about if it's doing bad. Like, that doesn't help. If I was negative about my own YouTube channel, if I was demotivated because I don't get views, like, that wouldn't help anything, would it? So because I just don't care. I don't even look at views anymore. I just look at comments. So if you want to make my day, leave me a nice comment. Guys, you have to leave me a nice comment. I ask so. You have to.